I will let the chat load because there's absolutely no one on here at the point of time. So, you know, this is the afternoon here in good old Central Texas. Seen a good boxing display last night. I thank everybody for coming live yesterday. So let's talk about some more of the same. We have Otto Vilene pissed off at Dillian Whyte. We have Dillian Whyte awaiting a possible showdown for Tyson Fury after he recovers from his surgery. Anthony Joshua still scouting out challenges, so he's here stateside. I think he's relocated. You know, what else is going on in the sport? We have the Bridgerweight division that I hope crumbles. Look, Bridgerweight division, it needs to go away. We got a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about. Let's hit that like button. XXX Kurt, I never get your live stream notifications. YouTube is messed up. Yeah. There's nothing new to that. You know, YouTube, I mean, thousands of subscribers, there should be more notifications sent out. Unless the people, when they initially subscribed, didn't hit the bell. And if they didn't hit the bell, then they won't get a notification of when videos are uploaded or when lives are activated. So the like button, that's why everyone smashes the like button, headbutts it, whatever, presses it. I think that's what gets people and YouTube to upping the algorithms of the live stream. Because, you know, I've been on only 2 minutes, so it takes a while to get a nice little crowd going, I noticed, but I don't think it's because of the notifications. I think just so many people on YouTube at one time that they may scroll and see that I'm live. And they're like, oh shit, Kurt's live, so here we go. So here we are, right? Let's hit that like button. You think Shakur is the king at the weight? Great fight as last night. Well, I think that he made a good performance, and I think the only way he becomes the king is he beats Valdez, but Valdez is on my shit list. You guys think I should make a new volume called the shit list? You know, not the redemption list, because the redemption list is interchangeable, but the shit list is like people do certain things to be on the shit list. What do you think? Miss TT Ninja, counterpunch to you. But yeah, he has to take on Oscar Valdez first, you know, and then dispatch him if he can get a fight with him, you know. Black Chain 1981, counterpunch to you. Yeah, the shit list. You know, and you know, and of course, you know, YouTube, you can't say shit list, so you have to say like, you know, the emoji and then list. Yeah, I think that'll be a good idea. Why not? Because there's a lot of people that's done a lot of just garbage things in the sport of boxing that they deserve to be on the list, right? Did you watch Vertori's versus Costa? No, I didn't. Rolando getting knocked out. Yeah, he should. You know, I think they should really fight at 140. I don't see why it was at 135. That's just giving Rolly too much leeway. Drag his ass up to 140. That should have been, you know, because Tank is a regular champion at 140, so it should have been at 140. He should have went back to 135 for that fight. D Hodges, what's up with Counterpunch in the chat? LDB, salute. Salute to you, D Hodges, in the building. Let's hit that like button. Let's hit the like button. But no, I think Gervonta take that. I look forward to that fight. I'm glad it was made because I want somebody to shut Rolly up or do something, you know, because Rolly's been talking a long time. And it just shows you that's what boxing has came to. Rolly Romero is what boxing is coming to. You got guys that don't even belong in boxing, like the Pauls. The Pauls don't even fight boxers. They just use the boxing. Look, this is what I feel they should have done. The Pauls. I think they should have just at least put them in an octagon, right? Don't try to steal the blueprint from boxing, because you're not even fighting boxers, you know? But then boxers, the ones that claim to have skill, they don't fight anybody. See, you have, like, boxers are turning into indentured servants, and it's sad because when you have indentured servants, like, you own them and you pay them, but you own them for a certain amount of time. But it's almost like slavery. Like, let's be real. I mean, Gervonta Tank Davis ain't fighting nobody on another platform, and they made damn sure, and they promote that like they're proud of that. It's going to be in-house. That type of shit in-house, like, you're just saying you don't intend on carrying Tank Davis anywhere past who you can make the fights with people that you control. That's bad. I actually think Ronnie Shields is a good fit. The way he said to Joshua he can show him what he wants to implement was more than other trainers from what we know. Stranginess. The only problem with that, we don't know what other trainers have told him. We don't know anything what Virgil Hunter or what Reynoso told him, or what, Robert Garcia told him. He just posts pictures with him like a fucking high-paid celebrity. But we don't know. I don't know what to expect from him. I know that Ronnie Shields probably, if he wants that grit, if someone has to pull something out of Joshua, Ronnie Shields could do it, because, I mean, he's not going to play. So since White and Wileen is off, the next big fight is Canelo versus Plant, I guess. Yeah. I was really looking forward to that fight, though. That's the sport that I love, that I hate so much. Because, fights just go away. And we don't know. We don't know if, Dillian White, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But boxing is so shitty, the sport itself, to the point anything could have happened. They could have made that decision like, look, you're not fighting Otto Wileen because we don't want to repeat what happened with Povetkin. Then you would end up fighting Arleen again, and Arleen turns into somebody, and then see the difference between Otto. And then it looks bad, too, because Otto Wileen is a young dude. Dillian White he gets stick for what? Fighting older guys. Right? He fought Povetkin twice. Who else did he fight? Darius Walk. That was a tune-up. Lucas Brown, older guy. Who else was it? He fought Parker, and he was going to fight Otto Wileen, but then, it's just bad. It looks bad because then it leaves a lot of opportunity for people to blast Dillian White. It does. Rolly is a clown. I mean, that's what it seems like. He talks as though he's confused as he talks. I don't like ignorant people. I don't like people that think that, like, that sound. He sounds like someone that's like trying to think as he talks. You ever seen someone like that? Well, I don't know, man. This motherfucker, man, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. Fuck him. All that shit, man. And I'm like, why you gotta look like that when you talk, bro? You know what I mean? Like, just looking at the way you say things when you talk is an incentive to slap the shit out of you. Like, what is your big? Are you constipated? He's almost like is he a fucking relative of Gilbert Godfrey? You remember Gilbert? Why you gotta? You know what I mean? It seems like that. I don't know. Maybe just people talk with fight in their face. Shit, I don't know, man. You remember Roy Jones' entrance with Red Man and Method Man when he fought Telesco? Man, I can't wait for Canelo Plant. Hey, that's the only thing we have to look forward to. Shit. I hope so. Just join. Quick before I train, I'll catch up after. What we chatting about? Anything. Way low. Anything goes. Bars. You know what? And I need to get my shit up too. You know, I probably should have laced up and, you know, started training, got my jump rope out or something. You know what I mean? El Kasi 1971. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. The year of the 50. Romero is like a high school jock who wants to be gangster. Jock, I can see him being a jock. Like low IQ jock guy, you know, some fucking smart dudes doing his homework for him, shit like that. Yeah, I see that. Kurt, have you noticed since AJ has been looking for a new coach, and that coach could be Virgil Hunter, Andre Ward seems a bit reluctant to criticize AJ's last performance? You know, it is strange because he is one of those go-to guys that give AJ a lot of stick. Him and Timothy. Well, Timothy Bradley already said what he's going to say. You know, but Andre Ward, that, you know, it probably makes sense. Listen, Andre Ward didn't get to where he's at by saying the wrong things, by doing the wrong things. Meaning, you know, because your mouth can get you in a lot of trouble in the sport, especially like, think about it, the commentary jobs. You know, if you're a commentator, you don't want to say something too bad, especially when it deals with someone or in your warm market of people. And we know Virgil Hunter led Andre Ward to the promised land. They share that together in retrospect. So, Black Chang 1981, that's an interesting point. You know, you might be onto something, because if he does take Virgil Hunter, then you'll see Andre Ward, you know. But then if I'm Joshua, I'm like, hey man, you did talk a lot of shit about me when I was across the pond. I wonder if he would spar him. That would be good. And you know what? I know what it would be good too? If Andre Ward, nah, he's a little shorter than Usyk. What Andre Ward is what, about 6'1"? Ronnie Fraud. Happy Sunday, brother. Let me know how you're living. Kurt, you're in my top 5 favorite YouTubers of all time. Ronnie Fraud. Man, appreciate you, man. Shit. I appreciate it. Like Floyd say, 5 years ago, we didn't know who the fuck Kurt DeVille was. Who is he? Think about Dillian White in the WBC when he spoke about them. Jack, honestly, who do you think wins in the rematch, Joshua Usyk? Joshua's gonna bring more. But here's the thing: if Joshua gets knocked out trying to fight him, that people would respect him more. Look how they looking at Wilder. Wilder had to salvage his performance by cleaning up what he said about Fury. He had to. And I think that was orchestrated by Malik and by Shelly Finkel. But look how people look at him. People look at him like, hey, man, he's a blood and guts warrior. You know, nothing wrong with having that gaudy blood and guts warrior type of reputation, because, you know, people don't, it's boxing, man. You don't want to be scared. And again, AJ, the worst thing that happened to AJ was Andy. Andy came in all fat and shit. Nobody really knew what he was going to do. Kurt needs more credit for voice impersonation. Thoughts on the UFC fighters crossing over to boxing? Do you think it puts the eye on the sport, or it makes the sport look like circus? Jake Paul and Woodley tattoo mess. Well, Jake Paul does. Woodley wouldn't, because Woodley's an actual professional combat fighter. If he tried to come over to boxing, it wouldn't cheapen it. It would just mean, hey, he wants to try and minimize or maximize the hands instead of all that other shit they do in the UFC. I don't give people stick for that, because boxers shouldn't get stick for that. They don't get stick for coming over to the UFC, and I don't think the UFC should. If anything, that could drag a lot of those fans over to boxing, because they're fans of that UFC. Because, see, it's still a combat sport. So if Woodley did come over and wanted to professionally box, That would be good for Woodley. You know, he would just have to get accustomed to the politics of the game, because boxing is dirty. UFC is ran by like one person, right? And the ranking system speaks for everybody. It ain't like, oh, I don't want to do that and I'm mandatory, so I'll say fuck that. No, you have to, or you don't fight. Kurt, I wasn't subbed to you around Ward versus Kovalev 1 and 2. How did you feel about those fights? Triple X. I think Kovalev won the first fight because of the knockdown. That was the deciding factor of that fight. Andre Ward bounced back, but did he deserve a unanimous decision? No. He didn't know if he won or not. He really didn't, because you seen how he was surprised. But that also showed Kovalev who he really was as a person. See, you can lose a fight, but the way he went about losing, it was second to Wilder. This motherfucker said, look, he thought he won. Then he says, I would have won if I would have had a Russian trainer. I'm like, okay, that means you're shitting on John David Jackson. And it pissed him off. And, you know, Jackson wanted to kick his ass because, you know, the disrespect. But he really never liked Kovalev, and Kovalev never really liked him. That being said, he just used that as an excuse or an opportunity to shit on the trainer he didn't like and respect anyway. Kathy Duva was the promoter that put those two together, okay? And he only did it, David John Jackson only did that because he was friends with Kathy Duva. Okay, so give you guys a backstory about Kovalev and David John Jackson. They didn't really like each other. He just trained them out of respect for Kathy. Okay, now, him saying all that, and I'm thinking like, well, if you thought you won, what difference does it make having a Russian trainer or not if you think you did enough to win? Then in that case, you just need to blame the judges. But he blamed a lot of other things. There was a couple other things that he mentioned about Andre Ward, and mind you that, like, you had channels like Fred from Barbershop Conversations and Dante's Box. All those guys were for Ward. Now, Ward showed class and he showed respect, but he didn't kiss ass. See, when Kovalev was talking a bunch of shit, Ward just stood there and looked at him face to face. He didn't move, he didn't budge, none of that. And in the second fight, Ward showed everybody what his character was and what he was capable of doing, and he turned it all around. So the first fight really didn't matter because Kovalev showed that he's really a dickhead, and he doesn't even know how to even take adversity. But Ward showed, hey, you guys think I'm not a knockout artist and he's supposed to be the boogeyman? Let me stop this guy. And he stopped him. And Ward was like, I'm like, oh my God. You know, and I already liked Ward anyway. So it wasn't like Ward just Ward surprised me. He showed me something that I never seen from Ward. I knew he had dog in him, but I didn't know that Ward was that type of dog. He took it to Kovalev and fucked Kovalev up. He cracked that armor of Kovalev, all that bad bully, bad motherfucker type of shit. He took all that out. Okay, so that Ward made me respect him even that much more. But it simultaneously lost respect for Kovalev, because Kovalev, he didn't have to take that fight like he took it, because of course they were both undefeated, right? But, you know, and then, you know, he started doing other shit, you know, with Adonis Stevenson, a guy he never fought, all that type foolishness. Igor Artamanov, welcome to Counterpunch Silver. Welcome to the club. Ergen Osman, Mike Tyson versus David Tua, March of 2022. Listen, that would be a fight I would love to see on my channel, Kurt DeVille. I did a breakdown of David Tua versus Mike Tyson. Maybe you might want to check it out. But I broke down that whole fight, how I think that fight would go. Would I want to see those fight now? Legendary League. David Tua is 48. Yes, he qualifies. I think anybody that's over 45 qualifies. Not early 40s, but over 45. I think they qualify for the Legendary League. I would rather see him fight David Tua Depends on what type of shape Tua's in too, man. Because you know, David Tua, no disrespect, but like a lot of like South Pacific Islanders, they eat really well. I know because my daughter's half Pacific Islander, and they eat shit like macaroni and mayonnaise and finny dinny and spam and kelaguen and adobo and a lot of shit that you probably never heard of. But they eat bad, and they're short, stocky people naturally. But when you don't work out and you eat bad and a bad diet, that's going to add insult to injury, because you're not that tall, and they're not that tall of people. You know, that's why they say the Samoans, real big girls and stuff like that. That's bullshit. You have a lot of beautiful women from Samoa. I mean, they're like J-Lo-like. But when they get older, things start changing. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Me and AJ talk on the regular. I think he should come to the Mayweather gym and drop that check so we can help him drop that Ukrainian. TBE. So let me do it right. Me and AJ, we talk on the regular. I think he should come to Mayweather gym and drop that check so we can help him drop that Ukrainian. TBE. Crossover helps U.S. boxing because the belt's been taken away from U.S. boxers. That's true. I think you look, UFC, if people start believing in their hands, I think it's more of a reverence if you can knock somebody out with your hands. I think people, and this is my opinion, I think a lot of people they grapple and they jail to UFC because they don't, a lot of people can't naturally fight without doing other shit. You know what I mean? If you ever been in a fight with a person and you ever punched a person and the first thing they do is like die for you, those are the type of people that like UFC. I mean, let's keep it real. The type of people that you hit them and then they try to dive at you, tackle you. Yeah, those are the people that love UFC. Because they know, I can't hit this dude, just punch me in the face. They're not going to punch you back because they don't think with that type of offense. Their offense of getting you down on the ground and all that type of shit, and they might beat the shit out of you when you're on the ground. But they are not going to fight you straight up. That's why I think boxing has more reverence than UFC ever will have. You know, like how did Conor McGregor beat Conor McGregor? It wasn't submission. It was because of his boxing background. He knew how to strike. Okay? Yeah, the hammer fist, elbow, you know, spinning back fist, those type things you learn, you know, that is not boxing. But the boxing fundamentals of punching, striking is boxing. Okay? So to see someone from the UFC, like think of like, I know he's kind of older now, but Lyoto Machida. Lyoto, he probably it wouldn't be good for him because he's a good kicker. You know, his kicks are beautiful. I love his kicks. But you have guys like Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, now he boxes. Look what he did to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He outboxed this motherfucker. And it just shows you he has better skills being a boxer coming from a UFC kickboxing background than someone that was raised all their life to box. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So that shows you. But like, let's say Stylebender, he got knocked out, so his stock kind of dropped. But let's say other people did that. GSP, Conor McGregor, he did it once and never tried again. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he's beating up DJs and stuff like that. Craziness, man. But yeah, definitely, you know, it's more reverence in putting these hands together and seeing what you can do from, you know, from the waist up, and use your legs as your foundation to get these shots off. That's more reverence than, hey, let me take you to the ground. You were beating the shit out of me. Now I can only resort to doing one thing to beat you. You think it's multiple things that you can use, but really you're like, those guys only use a limited amount of things that they can do. That's why certain guys in jiu-jitsu, don't let them take you to the ground. Hapkido, don't let them grab you. You know what I mean? Those type of things. Grapplers, wrestlers, submissionists. Those guys they can't strike for shit. That's why someone straight up will beat the piss out of him. Why do you think Woodley was so popular? Why do you think he was so successful? Because he knew how to punch. He had some of the fastest hands in UFC, and I'm like, dude, this dude should put some boxing gloves on. He should have done it a long time ago. Probably made more money, you know. Kurt, your Mike T could give me a spinal. Spinal. I broke my back. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin. Good evening, Kurt. Sorry I've missed a couple of your lives. Been quite a stressful work. I've been at church today and I feel a bit better. I hope you have had a blessed work though. It was good. I had a tough work week too. I was on set a couple days and it was some tiresome stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do nothing but come home and go to sleep. So I'm glad I did get my videos in, because you don't want work to disrupt your passion, but then vice versa. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm glad you went to church, got your praise on, and you're feeling a bit better. Shout out to Nikki Blue Eyes Austin. Mike Tyson versus David Tua. Okay, thoughts on Usman versus Covington? I don't know who that is. The biggest stars in boxing now are Fury, Canelo, and your public losing interest. They're turning to circus events. Well, this is what needs to happen. The Pauls need to get knocked out. They need to get Conor McGregor. That's what they need. Floyd stopped Conor McGregor in his shenanigans. He stopped them. But why do you think that fight was one of the highest grossing fights? Because it wasn't just a boxing audience. It was a UFC audience and boxing audience combined. See, Floyd and Heyman, Floyd is like, he's around smart people. So they're like, I know, let's take the bad Billy Badass from UFC and then me and put us together and we'll see. Bars. That's exactly what happened. Maybe Joshua can't shake the gun shyness in an actual fight anymore. And I don't believe anymore anyone puts in more training than AJ. Depends on what type of training he's doing. If he's doing that same old shit that you see him doing, slamming the ball against the wall and, the strings and the bicycle and, the fucking squats and, you know what I mean? A lot of those things you see AJ do, it's like, dude, it reminds me of someone training for like a triathlon or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he needs to do more gritty, work as far as combinations and shit like that. You'll see him do that from time to time, and then, I'll post it and when I seen him. But I'm like, oh, how much of that you see him do versus how much of that other shit you see him do? You know what I mean? You have to train for what you're preparing for. That may be a problem with AJ. He needs to come over here and get some American training. I don't think he lacks discipline. I think he's just doing some of the wrong shit. That's what I think. But we'll see. I could be wrong. We'll see. If he's gun shy, we'll tell, because I think Usyk is not going to box him now. I think Usyk is going to do a combination of boxing him and trying to get him out of there, because at this point, if Usyk already beats you by outboxing you, which he did pretty easily, he's going to try to do something else now. He let the cat out of the bag when he did that interview. I think it was with IFL TV, and they said, well, hey, you think Anthony Joshua could do better than he did last time? And how Usyk explained it, he said, well, I can fight different too. At that point, I knew, what? Usyk's going to go and try to knock out Anthony Joshua. That's what he's going to do the next time. Look, you see how he did Tony Bellew? And, and that's a very dangerous man if he's fighting to knock out Anthony Joshua. Ooh. That's a good point, actually. Why could we see AJ go to the Mayweather gym, and would they be able to help with a big heavyweight? I don't know. How many heavyweights have they had in the Mayweather gym? Chick. Sicarelli. Yo, Kurt, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, Chick. To get something you never had, you have to do things you never done. Ronnie, you're right. Kurt, if you're going live on Tuesday, can you give my son a shout out again? For his Earth song. Oh, his Earth Strong is not well. The moment he's got chicken pox. Yeah, I had chicken pox. They suck. If that's the case, I will. Ward bullied the bully. He did. Yorkie Elliott, he did. Tyson versus James Toney. Ugh. You know, James Toney can still fight. He can still, they still have those reflexes. I don't. I want to. I wouldn't want to see James Toney fight anybody because I don't believe in someone that damaged still taking more punishment. I just don't believe that. You hear how James Toney talks. He's the result of CTE. Okay, taking too much damage to your cerebral. Mm-hmm. So no, I wouldn't promote that. No. Floyd versus Oscar Legends League. Yeah. Floyd's almost there. He's 44. He's almost there. Art Sampson, pow with the glove. Right, champ. I'm off in a minute. I'll catch up later. The heavy bag ain't gonna hit itself. Man, get in it. I miss it, man. They got a place over here that they want to, like, it's weird. Like, they want like 130 a month. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of hard to do when you have places that's $10 a month with, boxing bags. Because back home, my gym has has 2 boxing bags. You know what I mean? So you can get on it and do what you need to do. You're right about those coconuts. What the hell is coconuts? Mayweather's voice kills me every time. That Floyd impression. Evening Kirk UK. Simon Calvert in the house. Ronnie Fraud. Fraud. Out of all boxers, who do you think is the biggest coward? By that, I mean, who ducked the most fighters? A lot of people duck fights, man. But see, here's the thing. You don't know who. Look, as of right now, on the biggest duck list is Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz ducked more fighters. He's ducked Luis Ortiz twice already. And here's the thing. And all of these people damn near got, look at Adam Kalnaki. He ducked Dominic Brazil to fight Helenius and got knocked out. He fights Helenius again and gets knocked out or stopped, DQ'd, whatever. He was going to get stopped. Okay. Andy did the same shit. He ducked White. He ducked Ortiz, said he wasn't ready. Then he fights Chris Arreola, gets dropped. Right? And gets in a hell of a fight with Chris Arreola. Then, after that fight, he goes and supposed to fight Luis Ortiz. Ortiz is waiting for him. He pulls out, right? He pulls out of the fight and mentions some fucking cosmetic surgery knee injury or knee problem he had, which Canelo's, I don't know what the hell that was about. And we ain't seen him since. Where have you seen about Andy Ruiz? And I bet you he'll fight somebody we never heard of and we surely hell don't want to see. He has to redeem himself, man. Kurt, you remember when James Toney fought Randy? Did he beat Randy? No, he got the shit beat out of him, didn't he? Didn't Randy take him down or something? Like fucked his leg up or something like that? James Toney broke his leg, though, so that messed his career up for a while. Because James Toney was he wasn't really supposed to ever be a heavyweight. Silva knocked out Tito. Rashad Evans was a good boxer, but had hands trained with Bernard Hopkins. I haven't heard that word that guy in a long time, Rashad Evans. Dillian White came from the MMA background. Yeah, he did. But he wasn't a UFC guy, though. I almost forgot to hit the like on my way in. Salute. King Midas, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Balboa didn't catch up with Thunderclips until he took the gloves off. I took up Billy Joe Son, BJJ, okay, because I was such a bad boxer. All right. You're going to play to your strength sometimes. Yeah. Mr. Intamin, I'm doing good, man. How you doing? I disagree, Kurt. If you don't let a MMA guy grapple, just stand up and he'll still destroy a boxer. 2 words, leg kicks. Well, there you think there, but see, that's what I'm talking about. He has to do something else besides punch you. He has to like either tackle you or he could throw. He could take your foundation. You know what I mean? But what is the result? He's trying to bring you where? To the ground. Why? Because he's not comfortable enough fighting you upstairs. That's just a solution to a problem that he is having from you. You see what I mean? Like, that's not, oh well, hey, I can kick you and put you. No, he's kicking you because he doesn't want you to punch him. Usyk trains like a madman. He drowns himself to improve his cardio. Kurt, listen, that's a different type of character, man. I'm gonna tell you. You know, and people are gonna dog AJ. If he gets beat, they're gonna fucking really rip him a new one. But especially leaving McCracken, then all the people that didn't feel he should do that, or felt he traded, or felt this, why is he here, yada yada yada, you know, and then until Usyk does something else, and then people will be like, oh shit, you know. That's what's gonna happen with that. Love your live streams, bro. You're a good man. Tell me, would Deontay Wilder beat a prime Mike Tyson? No, not at all. You know, you see, one shot maybe, but Wilder wouldn't. Wilder needs distance that Mike wouldn't give him. Mike would come in and hit him, because see, Mike's accustomed to hitting, fighting everybody shorter than him. If he can hit Lennox Lewis, he can hit Deontay Wilder. If he can hit Andrew Galata, he could hit Deontay Wilder, and he would murder Wilder. Wilder would try to fight him, but it's almost like a short, buff guy fighting a basketball player. You see them long arms trying to, you know, swing downward at a shorter guy that's dipping, slipping, moving forward, throwing punches, uppercuts, body shots, and as soon as he gets hit with a right hook or a left hook, right, left, it would be a massacre. Tyson would destroy Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's only hope if he catches Tyson leaping like he did Spilka. That could happen, but logic tells you, I mean, he would have to do that to Mike. You know what I mean? He'd have to do that to Mike. He would have to catch Mike. But if Mike is able to get his way, which I think he would have no problem with his movement that he had. Look how Canelo, being a shorter guy, is able to slip, dip, move. That's Mike Tyson shit, really. Everybody thinks they credit Floyd. That's Mike shit. Mike is able to dip under punches like he did with Jacobs, right? Canelo was able to do that, being the shorter guy. Head movement. Working on head movement is so important. You have to move the head because you don't want the head to get hit. You move that fucking head. If you got a line like this, you move the side. You move the side of that line. You know, because this is the line of fire. And it's coming right here. Sad time in your line of work with the accidental death on the set of Baldwin film. Listen. The problem with films, okay, we'll just touch that just a bit, is that you have to worry about every possible thing that could go wrong. See, what happened with Alec Baldwin, obviously he shot a gun that wasn't fucking secured. The weapon specialist checks it each and every take. Each and every take. I've shot guns, AKs, other ARs, I shoot them all the time. Okay. And that weapon specialist will take that gun from you. Like, let's say if you have 10 rounds and you shoot 8, they're going to check. They're going to take that out. They're going to check the chamber, right? They're going to reclip. They're going to refill that. You don't walk around with a gun full of blanks or otherwise, because they don't know if that is, that's crazy. That's some Brandon Lee shit, honestly, though. You know, because even if there was, because I don't know the details about what happened. I know Alec Baldwin shot something and he ended up shooting, and the shit wasn't like, At what point do you have enough gunpowder to inject that bullet or whatever? American Patriot 1776, counterpunch to you back. I really think White avoided Wileen. Just a casual. Yeah, it's a live round. Shit, I mean, who would know that though? But then here's the problem. Why would you shoot that at the fucking director of photography? That didn't make sense. You know, I mean, I don't know. But freak accident stuff happens when things, you know. That's why you have to be careful and you have to really watch out for yourself. You know, that's why stunt coordinators should be there. Weapon specialists. You know, a lot of people should be in place to be there to make sure. And they have to be on top of things. Hi, Kurt, you talking about Alec Baldwin. Yeah, I mean, that was an anti-gun guy. That's the irony, because he was against guns. But then you kill a fucking guy on set, you know? But I mean, accidents happen. White is playing for a vacant title fight. If Fury drops that belt, that's a big if. But he's gambling for a vacant title fight. Well, AMP Smith. If that's how it's going to be, if Tyson Fury drops that belt, let him fight Ortiz for that fucking belt. The Alec Baldwin situation feels like a stage distraction. I don't know. I have no idea. Wilder has taken too much damage. I don't think so. I think he's fine. I think he needs to drop weight. It was a B movie, not enough budget for all specialists. Well, they shouldn't have had fucking guns. They should have, if that was the case, they shouldn't have had rounds in the guns at all. They should have just had replicas of guns, and then chained and added the fire in post. They could do that. They sure could. Because I've been in those cheap ass movies. You're just shooting, you're reacting, and then they add the fire from that shit afterwards. You don't have to shoot the gun. You know, if you move your head the wrong way with a clever boxer, could predict the timing and his punch perfectly to achieve extra damage. Well, yeah. But just standing there, yeah, you're going to get hit. I agree, Ortiz would make a good fight. He should fight Ortiz. That's a fight I really want to see. And I would want to see that over Otto Wallin, because those guys are supposed to fight a couple times. Ruiz should have destroyed Areola. He's becoming too complacent. Sparring training alongside Suarez. Canelo should raise his game. Kurt, what sets have you been on, if you can speak on that? Shit. Over 50 or more? That's not, I think that would be better for IMDb, because, you know, Fear of the Walking Dead, Black Panther, Green Lantern, A Day to Die, what else? Infinity Wars, Marvel. Black Panther was Marvel. Luke Cage was Marvel. That was in New York. Because I'm trying to see the ones that I did lately, because the other shits or whatever. Shakur looked so good last night. Josh, he did, man. He did. He looked very good last night. And he looked like a young Floyd, but just a southpaw. Because Floyd didn't have a lot of power, but he had pop because he had speed. No, I was too big for a zombie, St. Don. You know, coming from the UK, London, I love your... Steve Matthews, counterpunch to you. Leon Musa. Kurt from Europe. Crazy, he shot 2 people. One, the cinematographer, and I forgot the other name. Like the cinematographer and somebody else. Yeah, it was jacked up. Gray Loach from Nottingham, counterpunch to you. Was the Wilder and Tyson fight sloppy like jail porridge? Yeah, well, they just, you know, it was exciting. But that's how those UFC fights look. They look all fucked up like that. Motherfuckers are just swinging, you know? Airism. Airsism. I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. Other than Black Panther, what's the best film you've been on in a role other than a stunt double? That's a good question. I would have to say, well, the television shows, Black and Blue, or Black and Blue was nice. I like Black and Blue. Major Key Boxing. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I actually just missed the show because I was working on this damn show in Tennessee. But Queen of the South was good. It's crazy because, see, I don't watch any of this shit. I just work it. I don't like Queen of the South. I watch Queen of the South and Luke Cage. All that other stuff, I've seen Black Panther one time, and that was the premiere in Atlanta. I don't watch, like, if you know about it, I don't watch it because I love movies, so I don't like to spoil it. And if I'm in it, I know what it's about, so I don't watch it. You know, Eddie Hearn said he's already trying to make the Fury fight. Well, I hope so. I love boxing and MMA. Don't be hating on MMA. I'm not hating on MMA. Never hated on MMA. Best boxing channel. Appreciate you, man. If Fury trained AJ, he could win the rematch against Usyk. Well, there's no guarantee that fucking Tyson Fury can beat Usyk. Usyk is a totally different challenge. He's a totally different fighter. He's a southpaw and a sneaky ass southpaw with that. He wasn't dealing with that fighting fucking Vladimir Klitschko. So if you base that off of fighting someone else, woe be unto you. And then people do that shit all the time. Like, what the fuck does AJ have to do with a fucking high spirited emotional fight between Fury and Wilder? What the fuck? I just checked IMDb. Yeah, I mean, whatever that, yeah, that's stunts, acting, you know. Kurt, what type of boxing style would you say you have? Well, that's a good question. I would say standard. Orthodox, standard. I could fight with southpaw, but I don't, you know. The Philly shell, I don't really, you know. I believe in head movement and footwork. Counter punches, yeah, you know. I really did like AJ was, you could see he was working on certain shit, you know, with the Pulev fight, especially with the jab, the pull counter. Did Kurt double Colton for Luke Cage? No, I didn't double anybody for Luke Cage. Luke Cage, I was just a henchman for the main antagonist. And I was just really carried, you know what I mean? What do you think of Frank Grillo? Frank Grillo's cool. Frank Grillo's a very intense fucking guy. Now he stays in shape like him. He stays in shape like a mother sucker. Because I just worked with him in Mississippi. The first time I worked with him was in on Black and Blue in New Orleans. And he's good friends with what's the Louisiana boy down there, the New Orleans guy? I don't know how I fucking forgot his name. Regis Prograis, right. So he's good friends with Regis Prograis. So he goes to the gym and trains. So we were down there in New Orleans, you know, and we were filming that thing. I was down there a couple weeks with him. You know, that was a good set, though. I heard AJ tested positive for hormones, female hormones, and that he is growing mangina. I can't see Usyk stepping to Fury with footwork the same way he did AJ. I can't see Usyk stepping to Fury. Well, I mean, no, he wouldn't, because they're different fighters. You have to train for who you're fighting, not... See, look. People, stop pretending that you're going to do the same thing with each fighter. That's false. If you're a fighter, you know you're going to have to work on strategy due to who you're fighting. I hope that makes sense to people, because like, you just think that you're going to do one thing regardless of who's in front of you. That makes no fucking sense. That makes no sense at all. Well, I know what I'm going to do. I don't care what the other person's going to do. That's basically what you're saying when you say that type of shit. And when you assume like, oh man, he ain't going to be able to do that with Tyson Fury. He wouldn't do that with Tyson Fury. That's easy. I mean, you fight and you train for who you're fighting. Usyk would perform similarly with Fury, quick in and outs. I mean, he fights in and out anyway because they're taller guys. I get that. But certain things that Fury will do, Joshua didn't do. That's just easy to understand. I hope so. You know, then the crunk style may not be the right style. Maybe it might be more of a boxing style. So, you know, and it's funny, if Fury tries to go in there and do that shit he did with Wilder, he'll probably get beat up. Like, that's why people are saying, and they saw where Tyson destroyed Wilder last year. Wilder has a jab and a right hand. That man doesn't have anything else. You don't have to worry about a left hook coming back. You don't have to worry about a right uppercut unless he's in the clinches, and he doesn't even get it off because he's not an inside fighter. So when you see him throw the right uppercut, it wasn't even, the punch would just, it looked weird, him throwing it. Like, damn, where'd you get that punch from? You know what I mean? It's like first time you ever threw the damn thing. Like, oh. Look, man, Wilder is a guy you have to worry about the right hand. You have to worry about how quick sometimes he'll throw it quicker. You know, and if you get too carried away, Wilder's throwing that right hand when you're throwing combinations. Look how he caught Tyson Fury. He caught Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury was too busy throwing punches. Now, if he would have got his ass knocked out, that would have been shame on him, because Wilder has done that. A guy has got too comfortable with Wilder, and Wilder has caught him with that right hand, not respecting the power. He has power. That's what Wilder has. Power. Usyk has a super fast straight left. Well, you have to take that away. Now the question is, can Tyson Fury take that away? See, and when that fight was announced, I was like, damn, Joshua's taking on Usyk now. That's going to be a tough-ass fight. I knew it was going to be a tough fight. And then I knew I said, if he gets beat by Usyk, people are going to shit all over AJ, because they're going to call him a bum for fighting us getting beaten by a smaller dude. And then none of these motherfuckers have been in the ring. Not White, not Wilder, not Fury, not Ruiz, none of these guys. Not fucking, the only person that knows is Joe Joyce, big juggernaut ass. And what happened to Joe Joyce anyhow? Joe Joyce got beat up in school by the same guy that did the same shit, basically. And look, matter of fact, Usyk fought Joe Joyce like he was fighting Joshua in the 12th round. He just went at him and ducked, dipped, slipped, bip, bip, duck, dip, slip to the body, right hook upstairs, right, slip, parry to the right, move to the left, parry to the right, move to the... Look, he did all that shit with Joe Joyce. And then people sit here and say, you know what? He can't fight, he's too small. The dude showed you he can fight smaller dudes. I mean, bigger dudes. He showed you that. You know, like Joyce is a big ass dude. He's Joshua, all them dudes are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". If you're over 6'4", you're tall as shit. I'm 6'2". And put somebody 6. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'm 6'2", right? Let fucking Dean White walk up. This motherfucker's all a 6'5" or 6'6". He's tall as, you're like, look at this big bastard. You're looking at him like, I'm looking at this guy like this. Joyce is a big, slow H2 Hummer. But if that motherfucker can't run over you. Just a casual. I'm trying to teach people, man, that Usyk knows, and he uses his size. He uses the mentality of Manny Pacquiao. How Manny Pacquiao did Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao's done that shit to a lot of fighters. Yeah, he's slow but powerful, but guess what? The conditioning of somebody fighting someone that big, the size does not intimidate my decision. And it doesn't, like, oh, Tyson is going to lay on him. Well, I hope he gets that opportunity, because that would be good for Tyson. You know, like, let's weigh down this motherfucker. Let's see what he does. You know, Canelo can beat Usyk. Canelo would be a fat butterball going up to fucking 230. Imagine fucking Canelo at 230. That motherfucker would look like he would look like Carrot Top on steroids. Crazy. I'm 6'2" and I feel like a midget when I go to NBA games. Well, yeah, because that's 2 to 3 inches. You know? Especially you got somebody like Tim Duncan. This motherfucker 6'8". 6'2", 6'8". That's like you know, you're looking up. If he got to 230 healthily, he'd be a problem. Oh, Canelo? But then he is short, but then so is Mike. So Fury versus Usyk is 99% in favor of Fury. Well, that, Leon, that is your opinion. That fight is a 50-50 fight. Bone density also plays a factor. True. AJ's chin is as good as White's. He just lost his bottle. Well, AJ has a lot to prove. He has to prove he still has it. He has to prove he still wants it. You know, but I don't see anyone leaving the UK to come over to America if he didn't want it. So that's a good sign. I felt like AJ holding back against Usyk, but I feel the rematch will be a different outcome. It will. You know, I don't know how different, but it will. AJ not going to bring more unless he gets over being hit. Frank Bruno said he looks scared in fights. Great job, Kurt. Psycho killer, counterpunch to you. Well, he got hit with punches he didn't see, and I think that'll make anybody cautious. When you start getting hit with punches that you don't see, those are the punches you do mentally get concerned about. Joshua's sending cryptic messages on his Snapchat. He's coming back in blood. Chigwell, yeah, I'm gonna do a video on it later. You know, I've done enough today. Kurt, they say Plant got a 2% chance of beating Canelo. Yeah, Joe, that's about right. Adam, Fury versus Usyk, 55-45 chances. Well, at least those are a little better. But see, people are basing Tyson Fury's fucking performance off of beating Wilder. Like, what does Wilder and Usyk have in anything in common? What do they have in common? Can anybody tell me, what does Usyk and Wilder have in common? That is a question. What does Usyk and Wilder have in common? King Mike Hall, nothing. They're boxers. Okay, what else? They're both humans. Okay, we're all humans. What else? I base Fury on his early fights, long jab, elusive. Like I say, Don, like I said, he would probably have to go back to that type style to beat someone like Usyk. Power, no, because Usyk's not known for power. Wilder is. Next, they're family men. Okay, I'm talking about characteristic as far as fighting. Human boxer is their only similarity. AJ can't box Usyk. Tall? No. Usyk's supposed to be so short. Motherfucker's an inch taller than me. You know? Kurt, would you train AJ if you were his trainer? How would you train him? Grit. Be more gritty. You know? Be more acceptable to the right hand counter instead of the jab. Be looking for the counter off the right hand, and be willing to work to the body more, a lot more. Be conditioned, because you look, you can't outbox them, and it's probably hard as hell to out hustle him. You just have to just go at him, hit that body, work the body. Usyk don't like that. Usyk didn't like that when Joshua was doing it. But if you notice, when Joshua went to the body, you heard someone, to the body, yeah. I mean, he should have knew to do that. He seen how this motherfucker was moving his head, so you know that ain't the place do you want to target. You shouldn't try to headhunt a guy that's really good at avoiding shots. Has Usyk ever faced significant adversity in his professional career? I don't know. I know he's been in with different fighters. His Olympic career has been. You didn't ask that though, did you? So I don't know. No, not really. Do an Uncle C impression. That's kind of hard to do, man. I'm not really good at that. Because he has like a raspy, like kind of, I don't know. Kurt tried to blitz Usyk and didn't. Chisora tried to blitz Usyk and didn't get the win. AJ might get clipped if he does that. Well, we'll see. But at least we'll know this. If Joshua would have went at Usyk and tried to at least put an effort to win based on how he thought that he was behind, but he didn't know he was behind. If Joshua wants to win, he has to go straight to Usyk and KO him. Be strong and aggressive. Well, be strong and aggressive. We're coming straight to Usyk? Nah, that's dumb. That's too basic. AJ needs to go back to the basics. Forget the lights, showmanship. Well, he's going to have to fight Usyk. But I think the biggest critic of anybody is Joshua himself. I think Joshua doesn't make excuses. He just gets madder and more eager. That's why he's over here, though. That's a good thing. Hey, Kurt, why do American boxers use N-word so much? And how even non-black fighters like T.O.? Well, T.O. gets that from his father. And they, in Brooklyn, the N-word is used a lot outside of the African-American community. So, you hear that a lot between black and brown. And it turns into something else as far as how you use it. But it's still offensive. But only it's tribal because only so many people use it. Like nobody said anything when Teofimo said that. No one said, "Oh God, he's racist." No, because he's a brown dude from Brooklyn. And it's a tribal thing, man. It's it's weird. Kurt, can you do David Hayes spot commentating? He just does not know what he is talking about. Yeah, David Hayes, he's like 0 for fucking 3, ain't he, in all his predictions. I got it wrong again. Yeah, you sure did, David. You ever KO'd someone? Yep. Simon Boss. Yes, I have. Knocked out a few people, actually. Last time I fought someone, it was bad too, man, because I didn't want to fight him. And he was a friend of mine. And the little motherfucker kept trying to fight me like he was rushing me. I'm like, dude, calm down. He was drunk. But I mean, he wanted to fight me. He was like, man, I want to feel that power. You're a big motherfucker, man. I always wanted to fight it, and I'm like, dude, chill. I don't want to hurt you. And then I end up hitting him. I hit him a few times, but I dropped his ass. I didn't hit him to the face. I didn't do that, but I hit him to the body and fucked him up. No, this was in the streets. This was in the streets. It wasn't in the boxing ring. It wouldn't have bothered me in the boxing ring, then because I mean, you put yourself in that setting, then I would have beat him up. If he had headgear on, that probably would have been better. I don't think I would have felt comfortable just beating the piss out of him. But again, yeah, yeah. You know what? I never seen him after that again. Andy, that was his name. Yeah. Hit Andy and BOP! Because I mean, he pissed me off because he was trying, like he was rushing me. Like, dude, what? Like, you know somebody's trying to fight you, you know, and I'm not gonna, it's gonna be only so much I'm gonna like, hey, stop, swear, I'm not gonna do that, be that dude, because I'm gonna give you what you're asking for. You keep fucking with me. And then he kept on trying, like rushing me. Like, dude, are you chilling, man? You still work in the industry, Kurt? Do you make a lot of cash? I do all right. Kurt made his wife a counterpunch model. That's why dude wanted to fight. Scans friend. This is stupid, man. Kurt, have you ever gotten knocked out? Yeah. Yeah, I have. Mm-hmm. Sure the fuck did. Yeah, I've been knocked out before. You know, and it's weird. You don't know you're knocked out until you fucking, you know, it's like, bow! And then it's weird. Like, you just, like, it's black, and then you get the fuck up, or wherever you were. I got knocked out at a club. But here's the thing. I got hit, and I know I was knocked out. You know what I mean? It's like, it was a fight. I was 25 years ago. I was fucking 25, and I was drinking at this club because I was waiting for this chick to pick me up. And then she was drag ass, and I don't know what she was doing, but I'm waiting for her, and I'm in this club drinking because we were going to go, you know, go do our thing or whatever, you know, and two chicks ended up fighting. You know, they were clawing at each other, and it was real nasty because the two chicks had the people with them trying to break them up because they both had each other's hair, and they're, bitch, you know, I'll fucking kill you and all that shit. And I'm looking, and I'm probably about maybe 10 feet from them. Have you been dropped in sparring? Yeah, I have been dropped in sparring. And it was so weird because it was like people started throwing beer bottles on each side, and then that's what caused everybody to collide and start fighting, and then the shit just kind of grew. And then I remember this guy. He was about 6'4", 6'4". He was a big. He was black, bald-headed dude. He turned around, and I was like behind him, and the motherfucker swung at me. It was some, you know, it was, you know, like a bar fight breaks out. It's almost like a demon just drops some shit and it just expands and makes everybody evil. And he swung at me, and I dipped and I hit him. Well, unfortunately, when I hit this guy, he went down, and I got bat. Well, I felt something go here, go here, go here, go here. And then I was like this. And I was crouched down like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And I was sitting there like this. But when I came to, I was still in that position like a fucking statue. But I knew I was like, I was somewhere. But I was knocked out because, I mean, they caught me, you know, behind the head, shit like that. I think maybe one of those back, you know, and then I guess a bottle splashed, and then it caught me in the eye. So I had glass in my eyes. It was like bloodshot red, and it was like that. And my jaw was broken because somebody caught me here. So yeah, it was fucked up. Yeah, I got clipped. I love that you admit you've been knocked out. Most people wouldn't admit that. I mean, y'all been in fights, have knocked people out, have got knocked out. Shit, it's, you know, growing up where I grew up, in the places, you know, you get in fights, and especially when you know, you're drunk, alcohol, you know, you end up fighting when normally if you weren't, you wouldn't even be in that situation. You know, Kurt, you must have done bouncing or yeah, you know what? I did security. You know what I mean? That's why I like I listen to Hatman, and he does the Confessions of a Bouncer, and I can relate so much to that shit because people come in and people think that bouncing sucks. Bouncing is a shitty job. I don't like it. I didn't like it. And this was maybe about 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, it sucks because like you get numbers and shit, that's cool. That, you know, you're in a club setting or whatnot, but then you have to be alert and shit pops off. You know, I don't really care for that. Like, because now you're getting into somebody else's problem. Now you do want them to get out of the establishment. That's what you paid for. You know, well, St. Don, I didn't like the job. That's what I'm explaining. So no offense taken. But then it's like so many things could happen Because if those people that you're throwing out are with someone else and they're under the influence, or they're rowdy, if they have a certain type of mentality or temperament, they could fight you. Then you end up fighting these guys, you know, and it depends on how many security. Let's say it's only 3 guys security, and one guy's way the hell over here, and you got 2 guys across the damn way. Well, you're fucked up. You're fucked. If it's 2 or 3 of them, you know. Why did you hit Trevor with the floating rib shot? Wilder is lucky if he isn't damaged goods. We'll see. Kurt, did you know Lucas Brown was a bouncer before becoming a bouncer? A boxer before becoming a bouncer? I could see that. He looks like a big-ass bouncer. Both knocked out and knocked out someone as well as a kid, unfortunately. I unfortunately was quite a smart ass. Antonio, yeah? Word of the day, 1680s Nottingham and Robin Hood and Friar Tuck was crazy. Do you think boxing ego is trolling and clout chasing, or is a weirdo and actually believes his bullshit? Both. I mean, if you're that egotistical, like, certain things boxing ego's not gonna like because of how he thinks. But he's trolling because I mean, he's a failed actor. That's what I mean. You know, I mean, if you fail at something, you have to do something else to supplement that. So, whatever. I mean, but I mean, if you generally don't like a person, you're gonna find things to talk about. Kurt, do you still go to bars and clubs, or are you different now? No, I go to bars and clubs. Damn right. I like karaoke because I like to sing and shit. You know what I mean? I don't like to, you know, like I don't like big clubs like Beds in Miami. I don't do that shit no more like that. I would like club bars are better, especially if you got chicks and you can, you know, converse and talk and drink and, you know, and I like to sing and all that shit. But I don't like an area where you cannot hear that person. You have to talk a person in the ear, and I can't hear all that well. So you, what's your name? Like, it makes no sense. I blacked out, but still on my feet. Yeah, you're out on your feet. That's what that means. Cesar Flores. In the ring, I pissed off a pro, and he humbled me with a body shot. Ah, the beautiful memories. Sugar Ray Robinson failed at acting and struggled financially until his death. Damn. That's sad. What's your favorite karaoke song? I like singing Under the Bridge. Like Beatles shit. Like some Todd Rundgren, shit like that. Yeah, I like those type, you know, like alternative or old light rock shit. Yeah. You know. Plus people use knives these days. Yeah, that's dangerous too. A knockout feels like a hangover. Probably had a small concussion or a light concussion. No, not Pink Floyd. No. Kurt, today people each other. Today people each other in the clubs. No more talking. Yeah, I know. I didn't understand that. America took that shit down. No Metallica. Nah. I used to like Metallica earlier, like 13, 14. I got out of that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, I really, metal, alternative's cool. Rock, but it's metal, it's like, when you start talking about dancing and all that shit, you're like, oh, shit's kind of dark. So I think you better chill. You know what I mean? Aerosmith, yes. Metallica, used to, but no. You know, I ain't gonna sit up and just, you know, listen to that shit. Digital Underground, of course. Nickelback, yeah, Nickelback. Maroon 5 is one of my favorites, you know, because they kind of remind me of that shit. It's like Maroon 5 is like the progression of alternative music to me. Like, that's like Nirvana and like Nickelback and shit like that. You know, it's just they do more You know, because what's is it Adam Devine? Yeah, motherfucker can blow. He can blow. Smashing Pumpkins. People make fun of Nickelback. They're okay. Yeah, they're all right. Just I think what was it? Who used to do? Was it Eminem that talked a lot of shit about them? Do you remember a Swedish world champion in the 90s called George Scott? I don't. I like getting stoned and listening to Pink Floyd to this day. Will you be watching Yard versus Arthur 2? Is Yard a hype job? I just think he needs another. He's Anthony Yard's good. I think he needs to worry about stamina. I think he has to. I think he's another Jermaine Taylor. That Once Were Warriors movie is ruthless. The Truth 7242. Did you see it? Because we talked about it. Yeah, Once Were Warriors, man. That's a crazy ass movie. I suggest everyone looks at that, because if you don't know about like New Zealand culture and things of that nature, how people live in certain places and areas of that world, that will educate you to a certain degree. Heard some people saying Canelo will knock Plant out in one round. I think Canelo needs to chill, because Canelo, I think he's getting too angry about something he shouldn't even be angry about. And I think it's because of the PED allegations. And they're not allegations. I think he's pissed. Listen, we know from Billy Joe Saunders that Canelo gets pissed when you bring up PEDs. He got mad at Abel Sanchez because of the PEDs, Triple G because of the PEDs. Billy Joe Saunders brought that shit up, and he got pissed. You're in trouble now. You're in trouble now, my friend. You're in trouble, my friend. So, yeah, I think that's what bothers him. $1 Million Baby. Yeah, that shit's so sad. Fuck that movie, man. Hillary Swank broke Billy Joe's face. Yeah, he did. The juicy Mexican beef. Beef! Hey, beef! You like that beef, eh? Fucking Canelo was pissed, boy. Beef! Billy Joe's a motherfucker, though, man. I swear, he is a motherfucker. I see James Ali Bashir's name come up as a potential trainer for AJ. What do you think? I don't know who that is. Cal O, Counterpunch to you. Thank you for the super chat. Have you seen Undisputed? Of course. Ving Rhames? Wesley Snipes? Never heard of it. I've seen Undisputed 2, 3, and 4. Canelo knocks out Plant in 7. That may be doable. Did you see the videos of Saunders trolling a drug addict? No. I like the fact that Billy Joe didn't complain, even though high face was literally didn't. Wesley hates paying tax. You know what, St. Don? Somebody said some shit to him on Twitter. CP, do your Wilder impression. 9-foot-inch 9-foot-inch nails to this day. Yeah. Stay blessed, be real. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. And yeah, Wesley Snipes told it, like, hey, Wesley, pay your taxes. Fucking Wesley Snipes said, hey man, you can see these hands tax free. Like, a lot of people don't understand. You got a guy like, you don't want to walk up on Michael Jai White and fuck with him, because see, if they'll knock you out and hurt you or do something, and it's weird though. Like, I don't. Some people like that are the biggest targets. Hit the like, you know what, the like up off net. Yeah. Kurt, why does everybody think Black Panther was the first black superhero? They don't remember Blade. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them. And Blade was absolutely awesome, especially 1 and 2. Michael Jai White different. Yeah, he is. He would definitely knock you the fuck out if you mess with him. He's not one of those guys that acts like he can fight because no. You don't want to fight somebody like that. He'll fight you, knock you out, and explain how he fights you and how he knocks you out. See, when I hit you, I hit you with a straight thrust punch. Meteor Man. Thoughts on Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul? No comment. No fucking comment. You seen the Venom 2 movie? I have not. I'm not a fan. Not an actor fighter. He's a fighter actor. There's a difference. Shotokan karate. Wesley Snipes. Yeah, Shotokan and Shuriken karate. But I mean, he's trained more than that. Those are his two major styles. Oh, capoeira too. Wesley Snipes, capoeira. He trained in Brazil many years. A lot of people don't know that. He lives partially in Korea. That's like his second home. Wesley Snipes. No Time to Die. I was in a movie, Day to Die. Do a Holyfield impression. Yeah, my son yesterday, Evan, I'm proud of him. He went in there and he did his thing. He went in there and knocked him out. I'm telling you, he got power. He got power. He get it from somewhere. I don't know where he get it from, but like my mama said, you want to fight, you gotta have power to fight. Kurt, have you tried an Ellie Setback impression? That's Ellie Setback reporting. You can catch me with Ellie Setback. Yeah, dude's a real. Ellie though. I can respect him in one sense, but then in another sense, I'm like, dude, you're a little germ. You know. Chris Eubank Jr. Nah, I'm not good at those. I can't do him. Holyfield shouldn't fight anymore because he's already sounds like an old cassette player that eats tape. I respect his grind, but he's so biased. Yeah, he's a fanboy, but then like, he went and was like, guys, Tyson Fury just apologized to the Bronze Bomber, and I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I just think it's just something that he's either apologizing because he knows something's gonna come out, or I don't buy it. That type shit. Like, Ellie, sit down, dude. You that hurt, he got beat. You got it, you fall around, got beat up. Come on, man. Didn't Spawn come before Blade? That's right, Spawn did come before Blade, and that was Michael Jai White. Don't you find Tank shouting aside feels too... It has it. I don't know. Tank's just, I don't know, man. Tank's just a little hood dude, man. He's a talented hood dude. Strong, short. Scarface impression of Usyk. How the fuck you do that? Ain't nothing coming out, but he whipped him fair and square. Have you seen Black Dynamite? Black Dynamite. He's super bad. He's out of sight. He's Black Dynamite. Yeah, I like Black Dynamite. Yeah, that's a good movie. Tank finna run through Rolly. Probably gonna hurt him. Say hello to my little friend. Sit down, I got a lot of friends. And I tell the truth, even when I lie. Say that Prince has seen my mid impression. Yeah, I'm not good at. I haven't heard him in a while. So when I hear people, okay, I'm, because you hear them a lot, then you're able to, but Like guys like Prince Asim Ahmed, shit, he ain't. That motherfucker, I ain't heard from him. He needs to go on a diet, bro. I don't like to see him like that. I don't like to see old fighters look like fucking fat toads. He looks like a dwarf now. A fat, brown fucking dwarf. Now imagine his wife. And she married this motherfucker. He was all cut up and shit. You know. And then, think about that. And then, now, this motherfucker's fat. He looks like the brown version of Ricky Hatton. In fact, he looks worse than Ricky. Ricky's kind of slimmed down, you know. He might go on coke binges every so often and lose a little weight. Ricky does, but fucking, you know, Prince Asim looks like a fat ass toad, and it's sad. He still talks shit too. Prince looks like sit and bounce now. Coke binges there. Yeah, he does. You know, man, come on, man. You know, especially if Ricky still has a little money, you know, if you have a little money, you can buy drugs. And that's what he was doing. And matter of fact, Ricky Hatton was probably hanging around Tyson doing that shit. Come on, Ricky, I've got a package. Let's go get lifted. Imagine Nassim trying to do a backflip these days. Oh my God, that would be something. James West, appreciate you, brother, coming in with that $3 sticker. Do an impression of Ricky Hatton hanging out with JD's. JD's, man. I'll tell you, Deontay, he gave a hell of a fight. Yeah, he tried. Yeah, take some of this coke. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I poured the water on his head. I made sure his head was nice and warm. That's what I did. I did that. You didn't do shit, mate. You got fired and they gave you a job as a fucking poor man. What do you mean that's important? Give me some more of that. Give me some more of that shit. I love Steven Seagal. He slaps the crap out of people. Gray Loach. Steven Seagal is one of the dirtiest motherfuckers in film. He's hurt more stuntmen than anybody else. Rolly Romero. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's a draw. I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with your face? Stop. He's just like, Rolly's like a dude like, man, are you trying to be that fucking, are you trying to be that way or what? It's crazy. Nikki Nicole. Do you think Tyson Fury would still fight Anthony Joshua even if he lost? Probably not. Tyson would do some shit like this. Tyson, you know, I don't have to fight the big bodybuilder anymore. Usyk beat all the life out of him. He doesn't have what it takes to fight the Gypsy King. So for that reason, I'm going to hang out with Ricky and do more coke. And I'll come back in 2 years and do it all again. God bless the Gypsy King. I'm out. I've beat the big dosser Deontay Wilder. He's second in command anyway. He can take it over. Let him fight Anthony Joshua. Anthony scared AJ. Let him fight him for all the marbles. I'm out. I'm always the Gypsy King. I'm the lineal champ anyway. I've had every belt known to man. If you ain't got a belt or a Mando, you gotta sit down. Usyk reminds me of LeVar, the boneless from Vikings. I never seen that. Kurt, imagine Wilder winning every single fight all the way back to Fury and then he gets beat. That shit would be insane. I told you he just can't beat me. He can fight everybody. He can beat AJ. He can beat a fat little Andy Ruiz, the little dumpling. He can beat everyone. When it comes to me, I own him. I have his mojo in my pocket. I tell you, I have a piece of his soul. Do you think Effie Ajagba can beat Tyson Fury? Hell no. I beat Effie too. I beat all the Nigerian out of him. I got him running back to playing soccer again. JD's reminds me of the main role of Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Nah, Lucas Black. Lucas Black, I owe him an ass kicking too. I work with Lucas Black. Lucas Black is that kid on Sling Blade with Billy Bob Thornton. You guys ever seen that? Well, I worked with him. I doubled a guy on NCIS New Orleans about 6 years ago. And we choreographed this fight scene. He's supposed to come behind me when I'm getting off the ground and elbow me, and I fall down and he cuffs me. Well, he didn't do that. He felt he had to run and jump at me with a flying knee. Well, when he did that, his body weight forced me to bounce, and it pricked my fucking face with the jagged edge of the pavement. And then he sits there and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't supposed to do that. You could have put my fucking eye out." Kurt, you think Wilder would be good in the Expendables? Yeah. I mean, all you do is fucking look like a badass and shoot guns. He has tattoos and shit. He can pack up. Look, if Deontay Wilder wants to retire, he will have a great career in movies. He could be, yes, I love The Great White Hype. That's a funny ass movie. That's one of the funniest movies that I've seen in the 90s. Well, no, I mean, Wilder could, in fact, he could, yeah, Expendables would be perfect for him. Come on, you got fucking Victor Ortiz in that. Ronda Rousey. The brown version of Ricky Hatton. Yeah, that's him. They're both fat and short. Used to be fucking good boxers, and now they just, you know, at least Ricky's a trainer. His son's gonna get knocked out bad one day. Do you rate Mayweather as promoter, or do you think he's bad for Tank? He's bad for Tank. He ain't gonna let Tank go. He's good for Tank now, but he's gonna eventually become bad for Tank because he ain't gonna let Tank grow. Yeah, Wilder's gonna have gangster roles. I mean, you like, he's like Wilder, you know, like he can do that. And I think, and it's funny, talk all that shit about Wilder, but Wilder, I'm gonna be working with Wilder in the next 5 years. If he retires in the next 2, I'm gonna see him somewhere in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, you know, Atlanta, somewhere. I'm gonna run into him, and I'm, you know, we're probably gonna have the fight scene together. You that motherfucker from Counterpunch Boxing, I remember you. I'll see you after we rap, motherfucker. Oh, I think Tyson is one of the strongest boxers psychologically. Well, that's that's funny because you know, he's probably one of the strongest willed, but mentally, you know, he has whatchamacallit. You can count me on the parking. Me in on the parking lot. I see you outside, bitch. I'ma show you why they call me the Bronze Bomber. I'm gonna kill you, Kurt. I was waiting for this. Stunt man, I'm gonna stunt your face in this fucking pavement. Yep, then I have to fight Deontay Wilder. Fuck. That's, you know. And then what'll probably happen is you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because Wilder's like one of them dudes you think you'll get away from, and then he'll be like, damn, is he gone? He'll be right behind you. Yeah, oh, yeah, motherfucker, I told you. Yeah, I would spar him. Of course I would. You could take Wilder. I'm gonna have to. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to, because there's no telling, like, you know, you don't know how he acts. Look how he did Charlie Z. He got over that dude and started pimp hitting him. Yeah, I said pimp hitting him. He wasn't slapping him. He was just like rapping him. Yeah. Renee Padilla, counterpunch to you. I mean, because you're going to have to fight him. I mean, he's going to fight me. I'm going to try to knock his head off because he's trying to hit me. You know, he's like, he wants to fight. Shit, I mean, you know, I don't. You know, I'm there to do a job, and I'll probably would be more angry because you're trying to take it like this, and then that would make me mad. So then it's like, okay, how this motherfucker gonna try? Like, especially something happened 3 years ago. You know, yeah, counterpunch. I'm gonna counterpunch your motherfucking face. Watch, you watch. Leg kick him. AJ has the best jab in boxing. Larry Holmes should train him now. Do you think he's watched all your videos? I'm not sure, but he watched the videos before Tay Jones did. Tay Jones came on after, you know, and that tells you Wilder looks and pays attention to what goes on. A lot of those dudes do. You know, I mean, what's stopping you if you got a cell phone, right? What is the biggest video platform around? YouTube. Joy, the white boys in prison hit harder than Fury. He ain't got a prayer. Wilder can become a bus driver. No, he can become a hell of an actor. AJ has the best jab in boxing. AJ fanboy, wanted dead or alive, Victor Bada. Oh God. Can you imagine Wilder watching a CPN video in his mansion with eyeglasses and headphones? Bitch. I can't wait to see that motherfucker. Wilder has his CDLs. I don't know. Wilder would be a good bouncer. I don't know. I don't know if he would be a good bouncer. Till this day, great acting. Wilder can become a twerking. Oh God. Well, Wilder, I feel, you know, he has a career in acting. You know, because I mean, he'll, you know, I could see him doing that. You know, he has a menacing look. It ain't, you know, he has the tats, he has the hair, he has the, you know, like everything that he does. You know, he looks like a character that people would book. I'm not necessarily sure about a stunt man. He'd get fucking hurt. But an actor, yeah. You know, and I think if he, you know, he should incorporate punching in there. You know what I mean? Like close quarters. You know what I mean? He runs out of bullets, then he has to punch guys. That would be cool. Wilder in the WWE, I don't know. He's too tall for an actor. No, he's not. Actually, he's not. I mean, actors are really short, a lot of them. Or do you think Wilder can be a champion again? And if so, how do you predict it happens? That's easy. The belt somehow gets split up and he fights for one of them and gets it back. Then he'll be a two-time heavyweight champion. Either it's the IBF, the WBO, the WBA. But see, what AJ did, he got most of those damn belts together. So he did what Klitschko did, but he didn't get the last one. AJ has the best resume in boxing. After 25 fights, better than Ali, Floyd, and Sonny Liston. Truth. I don't know about that because that's hard to read. You're comparing fighters from another era. That's not cool. You know, because look at Sonny Liston's records. Sonny Liston fought a lot of heavy hitters. You know, he fought Floyd Patterson, Hall of Famer. He beat him twice, Hall of Famer. You know, I mean, he was a menacing dude. And see, back then, you had one belt. You didn't have fucking 3 or 4. So the competition was worse. You had to fight yourself up to the championship standards and rankings. Tyson and Kickboxer Vengeance was disappointing. Nick James, do you understand? The people in that movie didn't get paid until a year. They had to sue the producer. Roy Taylor, yeah, I'm good, man. It hurts people that AJ is a greater than Ali. He's not greater than Ali. Who the fuck said that? Come on now. Just tell Wilder you're a silver bomber with gold hands to this day. Wilder should be in a new Mortal Kombat movie. No, I don't think so. Fury should play a maniac, crank or something. Best boxing film in my opinion. Big Man with Liam Neeson. AJ fighter greater than Ali. AJ has more top 10 wins. Ali already. My son saw Tommy and Tyson Fury in Manchester a few days ago. My son said to Tyson, "Why did you move to Morecombe?" And Tyson said, "Because for 10 pounds and 2 pence pieces, I can play slot machines." That's funny, Mickey. Kurt, who's your top 5 all top heavyweights? I like David Tua, Mike Tyson, Ike Barabucci, Joe Louis, and this is not in order. I'm just thinking of them as I go. Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was good, but I like Jack Dempsey too. Huh. Yeah, well, Liston was scary because he was about that life. He was about that life. I think Tyson Fury can be an actor. Maybe. I think Wilder could be a better actor, though. Ray Mercer versus Mike Tyson. That would have been a good one. I remember Wilder always saying one champion, one face, one name, and it goes by Deontay Wilder. Yeah, I remember that, Joseph. Kurt, your favorite boxing movie, not starring Sly. I know, right? Play It to the Bone was good. Southpaw was good. Gladiator was good. I don't know the favorite, man. Creed was good. Jack Dempsey was Mike Tyson's idol. Yeah, he was. Anathema. He did whatever it took to fuck somebody up. Raging Bull was good. I didn't like it in black and white, though. I didn't like it in black and white. It didn't have to be black and white. Diggstown. I remember that movie. Yeah, with Louis Gossett Jr. Canelo can win an Oscar. Raging Bull. Yeah, they didn't have to make it black and white. You know what I mean? Tua and Ike were never champions, but if like they were the way they fought, that's cool. Okay. The Ali movie. I didn't like the Ali movie with Will Smith. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Like, Will got all big and shit, and he didn't look nothing like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali wasn't built like that. He wasn't. AJ and Canelo are pound for pound. AJ and Canelo? No, man. Do you think Wilder won in the trilogy? No, I don't. Are there any boxers who were raised extremely well but still accomplished great things in boxing? Yeah, Gene Toney, Chris Bird. Sylvester Stallone said Tyson Fury can be in the next Expendable movie. Ali got a very strange look. Lennox Lewis, AJ has the best resume in boxing. Put some respect on his name. Pride of Glory wasn't bad. Jack Johnson was the man as well. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think he took a dive in that fight against Jess Wood. Ali movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. was better. Cinderella Man was good. It was good, actually. I remember that. Damn, I forgot about that one. Ali's resume is second to none. Haha, AJ has the best jab. Usyk jabbed his face off. You guys are still talking about that. That's wrong. Do you think Fury will one day go back to his pure boxing style? Maybe. Great White Hope. Funny how other heavyweights pick and choose, but Joshua gets clowned for taking on all the divisions regardless of styles. Maybe he should start picking and choosing. White already starting. Ooh, getting on White, huh? Cinderella Man was Jerry Lewis. It was funny. After Fury wishing Wilder a happy birthday, do you think they are oiling the wheels for a fourth fight? Maybe. You know, because I mean, they've stayed so isolated with each other, they ain't got nobody really else that they really wanted to fight. The guy they could have fought, they fucked it all up. Wilder first and Tyson Fury second with Wilder. So because of each other, they missed out on millions of fucking dollars that they could have made. Now it's like, hey, who else are we going to fight? You know, that's what happens when you pretend like nobody else exists. You might wake up one day and it's just you and that person. Counterpunch. AJ is overrated. Glass chin. We'll see. Who in the fuck would accept a fourth fight? They'll probably do it again. People want to see that shit. They don't know when to say stop. They don't know when to say stop. Did I miss Tyson versus Paul talk? No, because there weren't any talks of those guys. How do you see a fight between Fury and White going? I say Fury KOs White in the 8th round. I don't think so. That may go 12 rounds. I hate the way Floyd move in tank. Me too. AJ is a superstar in Europe. He don't need the USA. But he's here though. So obviously you need something here. Fury missing out on almost 3 years after being glad. Well, that's what happens though. Some people retired undefeated because some people retire. Who retired a lot too? Floyd. Floyd retired 2 or 3 times, man, and then came back. So these exhibitions are similar to how he fought his career. But anyway, guys, I got to wrap. I got to eat. I'm glad you guys came on. You know, you guys have a great Sunday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And everybody on the chat has been counterpunched. Until the next one. Peace.